So this video is going to show you the process of creating the file for the laser cutter or the Cricut machine. So you're going to get to this point once you are done with your sketch of your puzzle and with creating the prototype with the 10 pieces. Once you have an idea of how your puzzle is going to look like and what the shape is going to be, we can go ahead and recreate that shape in Gravit in a more precise and controlled way. So I'm going to just create a compound shape using two random shapes. Just pretend that this was my prototype. So I'm going to use this and a triangle. I'm going to rotate my triangle, place it here. Remember to use the align tool when possible so that your pieces are aligned correctly in the center. And I think I'm going to add another arrow on the top. So your compound shape can be two or more shapes. Boop. Resize it. And I'm going to have it look like that. Yeah. Okay. So now that it is, I'm going to go ahead and realign the center. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and create my compound shape. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to select union. So all of these are merged together. Zooming in a little bit, I see that the triangle doesn't completely coincide with my shape underneath. So I'm just going to double click and then drag it out so that they're aligned like that. Okay. Now, I want to make sure that my size is correct. So the document that I'm working on is 11 inches by 14. That's because that is the size of the piece of cardboard that we're going to be working on. So we're going to be working on something like this filler insert. It's going to be 14 by 11 inches. And then the thickness is 1/8 of an inch. And we need to remember that in a little bit. So my document size is 11 by 14. And I want at least 16 of these shapes on one sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it and then drag it into the same row to make sure that I can fit at least 4 on one row. And the reason why I say 4 is because if I can fit 4 on the short side, I can definitely fit 4 lengthwise unless my size is off. But I think I'm going to be able to fit enough. Let's keep pasting. Okay, so it looks like I can only fit 12 at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of these copies that I made. And now I know that I need to resize this even more. So if I'm not that worried about the proportions, I can make it like that. So it's a little bit shorter. And then resize it this way as well using the shift button. Okay, and I'm gonna make this so that it's 0% fill, and I'm gonna add a border to it of 1. And I think this is a good dimension to work with. Now, I'm gonna zoom in, and we're gonna start creating slots so that the cardboard, once it's cut, can fit into the other piece, kind of like a puzzle. And our slots are just gonna be little rectangles. And the width of the rectangle, if I go back here, I said that it's 1/8 of an inch thick. So that's pretty much what our size is going to be. So 1/8 of an inch is 0.125. I'm going to round it up to 0.13 inches. So that's the thickness of the cardboard. And then again, remember to center it. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller like that, a little bit shorter. And then I just keep adding these. I keep adding these slots around different angles. So the more angles that I have, and by angles I mean this is along a vertical axis, this is going to be along a horizontal axis, the more of these in different directions means the more complex my puzzle is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to add 2 more, and I'm going to make these at, I think, a 45-degree angle. I'm going to copy and paste that, and then I'm going to flip it. I'm doing this very fast. You guys will probably do it slower than me. But I think that looks good. Yeah. Always remember to center things using the Align Center tool. And now that I'm done and I have enough of these slots, I'm going to subtract. And this is what it looks like. Now that I'm done with my shape, I'm happy with it. I feel like it has enough of the slots, and the slots are deep enough. Always make sure that they're deep enough, otherwise your puzzle pieces will fall off one another. And if they look a little bit off, I feel like that one's higher than the other one, so I'm just going to change it like that. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. So I want it 16 times on my sheet. So I'm going to select the whole thing, copy paste, and then with my shift tool, I'm going to press down, shift key, and I'm going to drag it out to the side until it reaches the end point. And then I just keep doing that. I paste, I press shift, I drag, and then I wait till the guide tells me that it is at the end, and I keep doing this. So that's 4. Maybe we can add 5. I'm going to try moving these a little bit to the left. No, I think that's pushing it. Or maybe. You always want a little bit of a margin on each side. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. And then I just take this whole row and I copy and I paste it underneath until I get 16 of these. And this is what you're going to what your file is going to look like. You're going to have this space in between each of your puzzle pieces. That's called negative space. If you wanted an exceeding or like extra credit for this project, what you could do is make slots into this negative space as well. So, example, I'm going to double click here. I'm going to copy that shape and I'm going to paste it again. I'm going to bring it up so it's not part of a compound shape. There we go. So if I take this shape and then just add it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, kind of like overlapping where the other slots are, then this inside shape would also become a puzzle piece, and your whole layout would be 0 waste because you're not throwing away anything, and that negative space is also becoming a puzzle piece. So that's an extra option for you. So this whole process shouldn't take that long, maybe like a few days, a day or two, to get it nice and precise. And once you're done and you have an interesting shape, you're going to save it in both file formats. So as an SVG for cutting, and then as a JPEG so we can send it to your portfolio. What I'm going to try to do, if we're still distance learning, once you guys send me these files, I'm going to try to use either the laser cutter or the Cricut at school, or if I can bring it home, and I'll cut it out for you. Or maybe, I don't know, if it's at school, maybe one of you at a time can come to school to print it out, and then you will have your own physical puzzle piece. But we'll figure this out in a little bit. And so that's what your file for cutting is going to look like.